Today I would like to invite you to listen to the Dhammapada of the Buddha Shakyamuni, the 102nd verse from the Buddhist scriptures on the YouTube channel TN Thai in the USA. Should one recite 100 verses, comprising useless words, better is one single word of the Dhamma, by hearing which one is pacified. In this teaching, the Buddha emphasizes the profound value of hearing and understanding even a single line of true Dharma, compared with the endless repetition of empty words that do not cultivate wisdom or peace. 100 verses, spoken or recited without attention, mindfulness, or comprehension, may entertain the mind temporarily, but leave the heart unsettled, restless, or distracted. In contrast, a single word of the Dhamma, spoken with awareness and absorbed with reflection, has the power to calm the mind, settle the emotions, and awaken insight. The Buddha presents this verse as a guide to mindfulness in both speaking and listening, to discernment in practice, and to the recognition that true benefit lies not in quantity, but in the clarity, depth, and application of wisdom. Hearing a single word of truth, sincerely received, pacifies the heart, reduces confusion, and fosters understanding, showing that the essence of Dharma practice is alignment of mind and teaching rather than mere accumulation of words or memorization of texts. The story connected with this verse illustrates this principle clearly. A disciple, burdened by uncertainty and mental agitation, approached the Buddha seeking guidance. He had studied many verses, recited texts, and listened to numerous teachings, yet his mind remained clouded by doubt, fear, and desire. Observing his condition, the Buddha spoke only one word of Dharma, concise yet profound. That single utterance, absorbed with reflection and understanding, reached the heart of the disciple and pacified his restless mind. The turbulence of doubt and fear that had persisted despite hours of reading and recitation dissolved gradually, giving way to clarity, insight, and inner peace. This story demonstrates that the power of a word lies not in its length or the volume of recitation but in its depth, truth, and relevance to the state of the listener's mind. When one is receptive, even a single word can awaken understanding that thousands of superficial words cannot bring. The teaching of this verse also directs our attention to the principle of skillful communication. The Buddha often emphasized the importance of speaking with intention, clarity, and compassion. Words have the power to create understanding, guide conduct, and bring peace, but they can also inflame confusion, attachment, and restlessness if used carelessly. Idle repetition of verses or mechanical recitation without comprehension may create an illusion of practice but does not lead to pacification or insight. In contrast, a single word spoken from understanding and absorbed with attention fosters clarity, reduces agitation, and encourages reflection. This principle applies equally to both monastics and lay followers, whether teaching, conversing, or listening. The emphasis is on mindful alignment with truth and wisdom. The verse reminds us to cultivate discernment in speech, listening, and reflection, recognizing that the power of Dharma lies in understanding, not in volume. Hearing a single word of the Dhamma also teaches the importance of attentive listening. The mind must be present, open, and reflective to receive the benefit of wisdom. If the listener is distracted, preoccupied, or superficial in attention, even the most profound words may pass unnoticed. The Buddha repeatedly demonstrated that teaching is most effective when the listener is ready to receive and reflect. In the story of the disciple, the single word of Dharma had an impact because he listened with sincerity and openness. The mind, prepared through attentiveness and ethical cultivation, allowed the meaning of the word to penetrate deeply. This interplay between skillful speech and attentive listening exemplifies the pacification mentioned in the verse. The heart, once turbulent, settles naturally in the light of understanding. The mind, previously scattered, finds clarity. Insight arises gently, without force, yet with profound and lasting effect. The verse also emphasizes the enduring value of simplicity. In a world where endless words and texts can overwhelm, the Buddha highlights the efficiency and precision of wisdom. A single line or word of Dharma can carry the weight of meaning, ethical guidance, and insight that surpasses countless empty verses. The teaching encourages us to value clarity over quantity, depth over superficial accumulation, and understanding over mere repetition. By attending mindfully to even a single word of truth, we allow it to resonate, integrate, and transform our understanding. This principle extends to all aspects of practice. Meditation, ethical conduct, and contemplation benefit from precision, focus, and attention. When simplicity aligns with truth, the impact of Dharma is immediate and enduring. Finally, this verse teaches that pacification arises not from mechanical recitation or external accumulation of knowledge, but from deep alignment with understanding and reflection. Listening, absorbing, and contemplating even a single word of Dharma can settle confusion, reduce attachment, and cultivate clarity. The disciple's story demonstrates this gently yet profoundly. The inner turbulence caused by countless superficial recitations was calmed by one line of true wisdom. The mind, once restless, found ease. The heart, once burdened, found peace. The teaching encourages us to integrate mindfulness, attention, and reflection into our practice, recognizing that even a single word of the Dhamma carries transformative power when received sincerely and applied wisely. The 102nd verse further teaches the importance of discernment in the reception of wisdom. A mind overwhelmed by countless words may struggle to grasp their meaning, and much of what is recited without attention passes without effect. The Buddha emphasizes that it is not the quantity of words, recitations, or teachings that brings pacification, but the depth of comprehension and reflective practice. Hearing one word of Dharma, truly absorbed, can pacify the mind, just as a single lamp can illuminate a dark room more effectively than hundreds of candles scattered and dimly burning. In the Dhammapada commentary, there is a story of a monk who had memorized many verses but remained restless, caught in craving and aversion. Despite reciting hundreds of lines daily, his mind wandered, his heart was unsettled, and his practice lacked clarity. When a senior teacher spoke a single phrase, "Observe the mind as it is," the monk paused, reflected deeply, and for the first time experienced a profound stillness within. This illustrates that the essence of Dharma is not accumulation of words, but internalization, insight, and reflection. The single word of guidance, received with attention and sincerity, reached the heart directly, pacifying the mind that had been scattered and distracted by quantity without depth. This verse also highlights the cultivation of attentiveness and receptivity. The benefit of Dharma is realized not only through the skill of the speaker, but also through the readiness of the listener. A mind clouded by distraction, attachment, or superficial engagement may fail to perceive the value of even the most profound words. Yet when the listener approaches with openness, humility, and reflection, even a brief utterance of the Dhamma becomes transformative. The Buddha consistently tailored his words to the capacity of each disciple. Some required lengthy explanation. Others, brief and precise instruction was sufficient to awaken insight. A single word, correctly understood, has the capacity to pacify doubt, reduce fear, dissolve restlessness, and inspire ethical conduct. The story of the disciple who received the single word of Dharma after countless futile recitations demonstrates this principle clearly. Readiness, attentiveness, and sincerity create the conditions for pacification and insight. The teaching also reminds us that mindfulness in speech is essential. Words, once spoken, have effects on both the speaker and the listener. Idle or careless words can create agitation, misunderstanding, or attachment, while words of clarity and truth foster peace and understanding. The Buddha consistently emphasized speaking with intention, compassion, and wisdom. When words are grounded in understanding and spoken with mindfulness, their impact is precise and enduring. One carefully spoken word of Dharma can pacify mental agitation far more effectively than reciting countless verses without comprehension. This principle encourages practitioners to cultivate ethical speech, to speak only that which is true, beneficial, and timely, and to avoid repetition or verbosity that lacks meaning. Mindful communication aligns speech with wisdom and compassion, creating harmony within the mind and with others. Hearing a single word of Dharma also engages the reflective capacity of the mind. Unlike idle recitation, which may leave the listener passive or distracted, a truly beneficial word invites contemplation, inquiry, and observation. The mind begins to examine the causes of suffering, the nature of attachment, and the impermanent character of phenomena. In the story of the monk, the single phrase, "Observe the mind as it is," prompted active reflection and awareness, leading to clarity and pacification. The teaching of this verse encourages a balance of listening, reflection, and application. Listening without reflection leaves the teaching superficial. Reflection without guidance may be scattered or incomplete. When a single word is absorbed, contemplated, and applied, the pacifying effect arises naturally, fostering understanding, serenity, and insight. Furthermore, the verse emphasizes the enduring value of simplicity. The Buddha often conveyed profound truths in brief, precise expressions rather than long, elaborate discourses. The efficiency of wisdom lies in clarity, not in verbosity. A single word, spoken or heard with attention, carries meaning far beyond its apparent brevity. It engages the heart and mind directly, addressing confusion, fear, attachment, and delusion with precision. In contrast, recitation or discussion without comprehension may create the illusion of practice while leaving the mind unsettled. The teaching reminds us to value clarity, depth, and insight over quantity. It encourages a practice that is contemplative, reflective, and mindful, allowing even one word of Dharma to pacify, guide, and awaken understanding. Finally, this verse teaches the interconnectedness of speaking, listening, and understanding. Pacification arises not from external repetition or mere words, but from the alignment of intention, attention, and reflection. A single word of Dharma has the power to calm fear, clarify confusion, and illuminate the path of practice when received with sincerity. The disciple's story shows that the mind, once restless from superficial recitation, finds ease through a carefully chosen, deeply understood word. This principle is timeless. The essence of practice is not the volume of recitation, but the depth of comprehension, mindfulness, and reflection. When we internalize this teaching, we cultivate the ability to speak and listen skillfully, integrate insight into daily life, and allow even a single word to guide the heart toward peace, clarity, and liberation. The 102nd verse invites deep reflection on the transformative potential of a single word of Dharma. A word spoken with wisdom and received with mindfulness can reach the deepest layers of the mind, pacifying doubt, dissolving fear, and calming emotional turbulence. The Buddha's teaching demonstrates that the power of the word lies in its clarity, truthfulness, and alignment with the readiness of the listener. Consider the story of a lay disciple who had spent years reciting verses and attending teachings but remained unsettled, weighed down by attachment, craving, and confusion. One day, hearing only a single word from the Buddha, "Let go," the disciple paused, reflected, and allowed the meaning to penetrate his mind. In that moment, the turbulence of desire and distraction softened, leaving clarity, calm, and insight in its place. This illustrates that a single word, carefully chosen and absorbed with attention, carries a force far beyond the multitude of idle verses. The practice of Dharma requires not only repetition but internalization. Listening attentively and reflecting deeply on even a brief teaching brings about pacification and opens the path to liberation. When words are aligned with wisdom, even one word suffices to inspire insight, ethical conduct, and serenity. The verse further emphasizes the economy of wisdom. In a world often filled with chatter, discussion, and recitation, the Buddha reminds us that it is the quality, not quantity, of words that matters. Endless words may entertain the mind or create the illusion of practice, yet they leave the heart unpacified. A single word of Dharma, understood and applied, can transform the mind, soften the heart, and illuminate the path. The story of the monk who experienced profound peace from a brief utterance of instruction demonstrates this principle. The mind, previously scattered and restless, found calm and clarity. The heart, burdened by uncertainty and fear, found relief and understanding. This shows that the Dharma is not measured by volume, but by its capacity to reach the heart and guide the mind toward liberation. A careful, mindful, and compassionate word, absorbed with attention, is more powerful than thousands of words spoken without reflection or understanding. Moreover, the verse teaches us to cultivate attentive listening. As a spiritual practice, hearing a word of Dharma requires openness, presence, and receptivity. The mind must be free of distraction, craving, or attachment to grasp the teaching fully. The Buddha often emphasized the readiness of the listener as essential for the effectiveness of instruction. A single word spoken when the listener is prepared resonates deeply, settles the mind, and fosters insight. The disciple's story illustrates that receptivity, combined with reflection and ethical cultivation, allows a word to pacify the mind, inspire discernment, and cultivate inner peace. By practicing attentive listening, we train the mind to receive guidance with clarity, appreciate the subtleties of the teaching, and allow the wisdom of Dharma to unfold naturally within. The verse also encourages the mindful use of speech. Every word we speak carries the potential to create harmony or discord, clarity or confusion. By speaking with intention, compassion, and truthfulness, we contribute to the pacification of our own mind and the minds of others. Conversely, idle or careless speech fosters distraction, attachment, and agitation. The Buddha teaches that the skillful use of words, even one single line of Dharma, is capable of guiding others and ourselves toward peace and liberation. The practice of mindful speech aligns our intentions with wisdom and compassion, ensuring that what we communicate fosters insight rather than superficial engagement. When combined with attentive listening, reflection, and ethical practice, even one word of Dharma becomes a powerful tool for transformation, pacification, and awakening. Finally, the 102nd verse demonstrates the enduring nature of simplicity and precision in practice. A brief line of truth, absorbed with clarity and reflection, produces lasting benefits far beyond extensive recitation or superficial engagement. The disciple's experience reveals that the mind, once calmed by a single word of Dharma, can sustain insight, cultivate serenity, and integrate understanding into daily life. This principle emphasizes the interconnection between mindfulness, reflection, and comprehension. When we internalize the teaching, we learn to speak with care, listen with presence, and reflect with sincerity. Each word, carefully considered and mindfully received, has the potential to pacify the heart, illuminate the mind, and guide us toward liberation. The 102nd verse invites us to cultivate these qualities, demonstrating that even one word, deeply understood, surpasses the benefit of countless idle verses. May we carry this teaching in our hearts, valuing clarity and mindfulness over quantity. One word of Dharma, absorbed with attention and reflection, pacifies the mind, awakens insight, and guides toward liberation. Thank you for watching my video. Namo Ba. I wish to bring this merit towards all disciples and sentient beings, all of whom will attain Buddhahood. Remember to like, share, and subscribe to my YouTube channel. I really appreciate your time.